Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Judy and you are watching Running So and So, and it's lovely to have you back here with me. And first of all, I want to say a lovely welcome to those of you that have newly subscribed to my channel. It's lovely to have you here and thank you so much for taking the time to press that button. Also, I want to thank everybody who has watched my last vlog. You've completely blown me away and it means so much to me. So I'm sending you a load of love over the airways to say thank you so much. This is what I tell the children to do when they go, I'm missing my mummy, and I'll go, make a heart and blow a kiss. And they think, and I'll say, it travels on the airway to your mother. So I'm sending you all one today. And I also want to say a really special thank you to Jess from So What If I Said. She said the most beautiful thing about me on her last vlog. And Jess, if you're watching this, just thank you so very much. It meant so much to me. So then, let's get on with today's theme. So today I have called this 2024 so far, or something like that. We are a quarter of the way through 2024. Can you believe it? We've had 3 months of 2024 already. So I thought it'd be quite good, rather than doing my review at the end of the year, to do it in 4 stages through the year, so I'm not sort of trying to make certain I haven't missed anything. So in order to record what I'm sewing this year, I have got, it is a bullet journal. It's what they sell as a bullet journal. It's a notebook. So in my notebook, I have recorded and I have stuck in little samples of the fabric and made a quick note. So I've actually got a tangible, touchy record of my sewing, so I can physically see the fabrics that I made, and I've made a note of the pattern. This is going to work alongside Stash Hub. We'll come to Stash Hub very shortly, because I think everybody that's seen me for the past few months knows and is aware that I am totally obsessed with Stash Hub. Not just a little bit, but massively obsessed with Stash Hub. But it goes into my what's happened in 2024 so far. So I'm actually going to work a little bit all over the place, but I am going to cover everything. So let's start with the dress that I'm wearing at the moment. So I've cut my head off, I'm really sorry, but I want you to be able to see the dress. This dress is the Lois dress by Tutti Patterns. There you go. And I have a confession to make. I bought that pattern and this fabric at the Stitch Festival 2023. And I thought, what am I going to wear to the Stitch Festival 2024? And I thought, I know, I will make this dress up. Now the fabric came from Rainbow Fabrics. It has made up beautifully. It has a beautiful feature here in that the waistband is actually sewn into the skirt. So it comes out as like an empire line underneath the bust. This isn't a cross, it comes down and it meets just here. Now I think that I need to just put a stitch in there to stop any embarrassing moments if I lean forward. You have a grown-on sleeve with a beautiful little cuff and a cuff here. The zip is a side zip. Now side zips have their own trickiness, but this one goes into the dart, and there is a dart on each side which runs down into the skirt, and you think it's your side seams. It's not, because the back panel is here. Can you see where my fingers are? And these darts run over the hip. The recommended fabrics for this dress are silk, satin, crepe de chine, viscose and rayon. This is a tencel. I think, although the dress worked and looks lovely, it looks stunning, it feels stunning, I feel so elegant in it. It was very, very slippery. Incredibly slippery. And thus it made it just a little trickier to work with. Now, fitting a zip into a dart isn't the easiest technique to master. It's one I've never done before, and with slippy fabric it made it just a little more challenging. So I am going to make the dress again, but I'm going to use a less slippery viscose next time, in the hope that this doesn't slide as much, because this fabric, can you see it's got a little like a satiny sheen on it? And the fabric wanted to go one way. And the other thing with this zip is you have to be very careful when you match up down the side. This piece here goes upwards, so you've got a piece coming in straight here, but then this one comes in at an angle, and it's getting those two angles. And I was running out of time, and I tried to fit the two together several times, and I kept getting this slight difference, and I thought I'd got the two matched in beautifully, but when it came to sewing, they slipped out by 1 millimetre. Now the dress is so comfortable. I absolutely love it. Would I recommend you make it? Absolutely. Could you get away with not doing the side zip? It depends. If you made your waist part, your skirt and your body slightly bigger around here, it would slip over the head. But if you wanted it to fit like this one, I think you'd struggle to get it over your head and onto your waist. With this particular dress, I took my own measurements and I checked my measurements, as I do on every dress that I make, against the finish measurements, and then look at the two, look at the difference with the ease and think, am I okay with that? Do I need slightly more ease? Would I like slightly more ease? And I fit the measurements I've got to the fit between the finished measurements for the size I want to make. I don't particularly want to divulge what size I'm making on a dress. That's my business. And I think it's easier to say. Let's give an example. If my bust measured 34 and the ease they're giving is 39, I'd think, oh, hold on a minute, is that too much? Knowing that I have narrow shoulders. I have to look at how much ease they're giving at all of these places to see where it fits. Because although my measurement might be X for here, I do know that I've always had narrow shoulders, no matter where my weight might lie. So that's how I do it. I also look at the waist measurement, because on my waist, I like it to feel more relaxed. So I might choose to make a waist size that's bigger than where I measure. That is the benefit and the joy of making your own clothes. It's getting something to fit where you want it to fit so that you're comfortable with it. And if I'm ever uncertain, I tend to size up and then I can take it down, because it's easier to take down than to take up. I hope this is making sense. So with this particular dress, that's what I did. But when I looked at the finished measurements for the size I made, the size that I measured, I didn't like the finished measurements, so I actually sized up. And I am really happy and delighted that I did, because it's given me a dress that is absolutely perfect. So what else did I make? I also made the pogo nip, and I'm going to put a card in here, because if you've not seen my pogo nip video, it gives you a chance to nip over and see it. But I did a full review on the pogo nip, but let's go and get it anyway. And the reason I wanted to pogo nip ready and this dress ready for the Stitch Festival was that the pogo nip would give me a lovely casual look over my dress. Can you see? But the colours, can you see? Oh, there you go. Can you see how the little pinky bit here in the skirt matches the pinkiness of my pogo nip beautifully? Here is my pogo nip. It is beautiful. And I made my pogo nip in a knit. And pogo nip is this pattern that's it's caused a lot of interest on the sewing community. You can make it in a stretch fabric or a woven fabric. I chose to make it in a stretch with woven lined pockets. And I've also done the pocket on the back where you can turn your pogo nip into it to carry it around and lay it inside your bag. If you do put it in the bag, you have to sort of fold it in, and it's a different way of doing it. But I absolutely love it. The fabric I got, it's like a waffle knit, and I got this from the Beyond the Pink Door Sewscription box, either late last year or the year before. But I adore this colour, and I'm wearing more and more things that are this colour. And the latest Think Pink box, the fabric, the colourway I was lucky enough to receive, matches in with my pogo nip, so I'll be able to combine, sort of like capsulise my wardrobe off again. But I love my big buttons. I've got my little Rosy Cheeks label here, my welt pockets, which I was delighted with. They went in so well. There is a beautiful tutorial for these online from the Friday Pattern Company. All the links are in my vlog. And I've given you a few extra top tips on how to absolutely secure them the first time. Absolutely love them. It's the most beautiful pattern. And did I put some poppers in here? Yes, I did put an extra popper in the top because there was a little bit of too much gaping here. there, even with the buttons being in the right place, and just to secure it, I put an extra popper in there. January, I ended up being asked to do and I felt so blessed and humbled and honoured to be asked to do these. But I was asked by Andrea from Beyond the Pink Door to do the make for the January box, and I made the Alana dress by Atelier Jupe, and I'm going to come to that in a minute. But also in January, I saw that Victoria from Little Rosy Cheeks had put out a request for pattern testers for a little girl's dress. And the little girl's dress that she has done is called the Mizzle dress. And I made two. So here's the first one. And the lovely little girl wearing this is Olivia. She is Melanie's granddaughter. And I was utterly delighted, and I know Olivia likes some sparkle, so I thought when I make mine, I'm going to add some extra sparkle for Olivia because she's such a sparkly little girl. So I made it party style, and she has got unicorns down the front of hers, and I managed to get the unicorns to line up straight down the front, down the sleeves and straight down the back. And I made a lovely sequin skirt for her so she could be super sparkly and stand out. Now, I then decided, I thought, oh, it's quite, I followed the measurements because that's what Victoria had asked us to do. And I thought, oh, it's quite baggy on Olivia. Is it meant to be this baggy? And I thought, how do I solve this problem? So I decided to make a second one. And the second one I made was for Ruby. And Ruby is the daughter of my friend Kate, who lives behind me on the little cul-de-sac. And I sort of rang Kate one Saturday morning and went, Kate, I need to make a dress for a little girl today. I need to borrow Ruby. And Kate was like, fine. By the way, we've got 2 new kittens. Would you like to come and see them? And I was like, yes, new kittens are far more important than making little girls' dresses. She'd adopted 2 Norwegian forest cat kittens. She has adopted 2 Norwegian forest cat kittens. My gosh, they are beautiful. That's a different story. So I made a lovely little dress for Ruby, and I bought the fabric from Bugweeds. I nipped up to Bugweeds and bought fabric specifically to make this particular version of the dress. And again, she has a jersey top and a woven skirt at the bottom. You will notice that on the Mizzle dress, we've got the most beautiful feature just at the waistline, where the waistline appears to have a little flap like so. And you actually do your top stitching line. So you attach the dress, the skirt to the bodice, and then you fold over the flap and bring it back on itself and sew that down. And it was just such the simplest feature on a dress. But the sizing was right, because with Ruby's explicit instructions, I measured Ruby, who is a dainty 9-year-old, and she measured out at a 6-year-old. So I made it, and it fitted Ruby as perfectly as it fitted Olivia. So Ruby, Olivia. Beautiful, beautiful dresses. I was so touched to be asked to do that pattern test. It really made me feel lovely, and I'm just so grateful I was able to take part in that. I also did another pattern test in January. I mean, seriously, January, I was run off my feet, and I think early February it was like, oh, I don't want to sew. This pattern test was for the Claire blouse. Now, I have done several pattern tests for Julia from Bobbins and Buttons. And when this one came in, it was like, oh yes, I need to make this. Absolutely stunning blouse. Simple with a lovely yoke and beautiful billow sleeves. So comfortable to wear and striking to wear. And what I really like about this blouse, if you see from the picture here, the neckline isn't overly open. Some of these dresses, the necklines come out here, and the blouses, they come out too far. But for me, because I do feel, and I've always felt rather exposed at this point on my body, but I don't like exposing too much flesh, she says, wearing the Lois dress underneath this. But it just sits not low, not high, but just right around here to make you feel elegant and to give yourself a bit of a breathe. And I used a lovely bit of seed in ochre from Atelier Brunette for that, and I just love the result. Now, I've got that down here. Another top that I whipped up was the Trudy turtleneck top. As I slip back in, I've actually brought over the Claire blouse as well. Isn't it gorgeous? You can see how lovely the neckline is on the Claire blouses. And it's got lots of gathering. It gathers into the sleeves and the front and the back. It's a beautiful, beautiful pattern, and gathered into the cuffs with quite a long length. I suppose if you really wanted, you could actually put a belt round the bottom as well. So that's all. The links will be in the description box below for all the patterns that I mentioned. And then I made the Trudy turtleneck in this beautiful ribbed jersey that we got in the Think Pink box in February, I think it was. I do not know what is going on with my lighting. I am so sorry. Dark light, dark light. They are not moving. They are staying put. In the December box. It's just the most super soft fabric, and this is the most lovely, warm base layer to wear when you're going outside for a dog walk or playground duty at school for me, working outside with the children in the outdoor area. It's lovely. It makes me feel really warm and cozy. Now, before I come to the Alana dress, because I'm going to get changed, there has been another thing that I've made. I'm just going to put a picture in here. Now this is the Evil Pea. If you've not come across the Evil Pea, I should say, where have you been? The Evil Pea is a book character, and Evil Pea is very naughty. He is the adversary of Supertato. Supertato is a children's superhero. He lives in a supermarket, and the Evil Pea is contained in the freezer because he comes out and does all sorts of naughtiness. School over and done with. Anyhow, I had some felt. We were doing Supertato in school, and I whipped up a Supertato, and I whipped up an Evil Pea. And then, lo and behold, I then had to make another Evil Pea because Rachel's friend, Jenny, her son, Finn, is in love with he's in love with Evil Pea. So I made him an Evil Pea as well. I don't know if he's had it yet. Now, I'm sure he'll like it. I have got some work in progress that I need to show you. And my work in progress is in my lovely project wallet. This is viscose. This is Twig viscose, and it's so creased up because it's been away, but it is the Lilian blouse. It's going to be the Lilian blouse by Sew Over It. It's a lovely, lovely blouse. It's nearly finished. It needs finishing. And the other pattern that I'm making is the Brindle and Twig wrap top. That is a wrap bodysuit. There you go, the wrap bodysuit. Now, I'm quite happy to show you this because this is Oliver's Easter gift from Grandma Sew. Here it is, coming together really nicely. I'm just putting on the binding, but catch that fabric for a little boy. I can't give him an Easter egg, but I can give him a baby grow vest made in Easter egg fabric. And that came from Little Legs fabric. So then, what did I make for Andrea in the most stunning fabric that came in our January boxes by Atelier Jupe? Here you go. This pattern is lovely to make, and I would recommend you all make it. It is simply lovely, and it is so flattering. It has got huge billowy sleeves, and for somebody who doesn't like cleavage, I have got some more. So there you've very nearly got the full length picture. Ta-da, ta-da. I love it. I feel so elegant in this dress. When I'm wearing this dress, I really do feel good. It makes me feel $1 million. I don't know what it is about it, but I just absolutely love it. Again, I'm not going to talk about the size I made, but I matched my measurements at the time of making with the finished measurements, checking the ease against 2 sizes or 3 sizes of finished measurements to see which one would suit me, and worked my way back to get a pattern that would work. And again, I cut slightly bigger so I can fit with my tacking and bring the pattern down to a size that suits me and to a comfort of fitting that I will be happy wearing. So it does have quite a deep neckline here, something I'm having to get used to, but actually I think it really suits me. And I love the belt detail. Now, the one thing I would talk to you all about is the belt detail. I've brought the camera in because I want you to have a look at the belt. Bring the belt on sideways. It's the belt, it's the waistband, and it has got some little tucks in it. Now, I have to say, I found this bit really tricky because the markings on the pattern weren't exactly true. And checking them against the example online, I've really found difficult. So what I decided to do in the end was to put 3 pleats in, because as long as it meets this bit here at the back in height, this way, as long as it matched in with that bit, it's going to be fine. So that was what I was really worried about. And I have got the pleats on it. I couldn't work out how many pleats it wanted. It looked like 3, so I went for 3, and it's worked absolutely beautifully. The only other thing I should have done, whoops, was to perhaps, come up a bit, come back here. I'm stood up here. The only other thing I should have done was perhaps to have made the sleeve cuff a little bit tighter. But it doesn't matter because I can pull it back up over the top of my elbows if I want to. So I feel wonderful in this dress. Really happy and really wonderful. And it was a dress I did consider wearing to the Stitch Festival, but I decided that I actually wanted to wear the Lois dress instead. This dress does not have any fastenings. It goes over your head and you have a small elasticated panel here at your waist. And you use a very deep elastic, and if you get the correct size, I think it was a 2-inch or 5cm elastic off the top of my head here. If you get the right one, it fits in that panel perfectly. As I say, these pleats have to pleat down to fit into that. You can have a flat waistband here at the front if you want, and you can have it elasticated all the way around. It has the 3 options. But I just love the way it's cut down here. And the way the pattern is cut, the point here just came together really, really beautifully. At the shoulders, you've got a lovely little bit of gathering here. And what you can't see at the back is, beyond the pink door advent calendar labels, it says the cat's whiskers on it. Now, let's check back with my book to make certain I've covered everything. I've got one more thing I haven't. I've got this bag. I made the Crescent Tote bag by Noodlehead Patterns, and it caused a bit of a stir. I shall go and get it. Here is my Crescent Tote by Noodlehead Patterns. I haven't put stiffening in it. I've just used a sort of a softer layer. And when I made it, I was chatting to everybody on a Zoom call with the Think Pink ladies, and one lady suggested that it was Viv, suggested if I had any googly eyes, I should put them on the owl. And the children in school going, Mrs. Watson, is that the one with googly eyes? Have you got your googly eye bag? And it got a little bit frustrating, and I had to change the bag I was taking to school because they just got obsessed with the googly eyes. Now, 2024 so far has been a super exciting year. So we started with all the lovely sewing opportunities in January, and February I was exhausted. But I was so exhausted and I had a cold, and I thought, what am I going to do with myself? And I discovered Stash Hub, didn't I? And went completely over the top. So I got obsessed with Stash Hub. Completely obsessed. I just couldn't stop here on my pattern, my fabrics. But what I really love about Stash Hub is, in your menu, you've got projects. And you can list your projects, and you can also change them to finished. The one I made for Jenny Stitches, that was on from ages ago, but there's my Noodlehead bag, my Lois dress, my Pogonip, and I need to put on my Alana dress, but I made that before I got involved with Stash Hub. And I was completely honoured last week by being asked by Yvette to join her on Stash Chat. And it was just the most beautiful, beautiful chat. And some of you will remember that I mentioned some Mizzle fabric that I've had in my stash for quite a long time. It's about 1.5 metres of Mizzle fabric. If you've got any idea what I could make with it, please drop something down in the description box below. If If you've got any ideas what I could make with this fabric, just drop it in the comments below and I would be delighted to hear from you, because I am struggling to know what to do with that fabric. But I also had another lovely thing happen to me, and I'm not going to get it out, but I'm just going to drop a picture in here. I was given the opportunity to acquire a Singer Featherweight sewing machine, and the lovely Adam from Adam Sews has a subscriber who was trying to find a new home for her Singer Featherweight, and he suggested I might like it. And it was such the most gorgeous experience. It was such the most lovely experience going to collect that machine, because the lady said I could have it. This is what she said to Adam. The lady can have it, you can find someone to take it, but they've got to pay for the postage. And I thought, well, that's not unreasonable. So I said to Adam, where is the sewing machine? So he came up with a postcode to discover it was actually in Scunthorpe. Now Scunthorpe for me is just under an hour away, just under or just over an hour away, depending on which way I go. If I go past Rachel's, it was just over an hour. If I go over the Humber Bridge, it was under the hour. And I thought, do you know, I've not been over the Humber Bridge for years. So I went over the Humber Bridge. I just haven't been over it, and I can remember that bridge being built. So I was very, very lucky, and I have been gifted this utterly, utterly beautiful sewing machine. It's packed away now for Easter, but I have had it out in the living room. And I will play with it, but at the moment now isn't the time to have a play with it. So I will introduce it to you properly later in the year, or maybe next year. I'm not quite certain when. So looking back, I think I've done really well in my project so far for 2024. So what am I going to do next? Well, the next thing I have to make is the Seasons of East Autumn in New York dress in my Balenciaga fabric that Hannah and Michael gave me for Christmas in 2022, which they bought in Mood. So if I cannot make a dress called Autumn in New York in fabric that came from Mood in New York, I think it's a poor do. And as I've said before, Melanie's daughter Sophie, who is Olivia's mum, is getting married, and I've been invited to the wedding. But I have known Sophie since she was 2, and actually the wedding is the day that Hannah and Michael's baby is due. So we have basically said to Hannah, you're not allowed to have the baby on that day. It's banned. It's Zoomy time. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed today's vlog, and I look forward to you joining me again soon. If you like what you've seen, please give me a thumbs up or send me a comment. And if you've not yet subscribed, it would be great if you could. So I'll see you all again very, very soon. So for now, take care and lots of love. Bye.